recording is going to start soon. Again, for those of you in the recording, sorry, we just started it. Again, here is the question form. And again, here is the information. If you're watching this recording, I probably will not get these questions later. All right, so here's what I want to do is I want to start out. If there's any questions I feel like I can answer right now, I'm going to go ahead and answer those questions. I gave this to you last time, but we're going to actually use it this time. And I can see, awesome, some of you are already in there. So if you haven't gotten this and saved this to your drive, I'm going to keep this up for a little bit while I go ahead and look at some of your questions here. Just a few things. First of all, shout outs. Awesome. Thank you very much, Irma. That's very kind of you to say, but shout out to you. Frank Paul Riders, shout out from Cecilia. Frank Paul Riders, go Riders, go. Still having some issues with uploading some Google Drive to Seesaw. Just real quick, Melinda, specifically for you, sometimes what I actually find myself doing when I'm uploading is sometimes I actually have to download it to my computer and then I actually upload it to Seesaw, if that makes sense for you, Melinda, because I just have some issues as well. So when I'm sometimes in Google Drive, it's an extra step. If I'm having trouble, download and then upload. Hopefully that helps. Shout out to Marta Esquivel, first grade teacher at Montebella. Awesome. Shout out to Sabrina, Lewis, and Jaime, and all of you in the tech department. Great. Shout out to MLK in second grade. Shout out to the Barden staff. Woohoo. All right. So a few of the other things, Melinda, are there any good Seesaw tutorials for kids we can share? Some are still struggling. I want to show you today how I kind of build my tutorial into my lesson and into my activity. That's kind of my goal today, because what I do is in my activities, I actually embed my lesson inside the activity, and I hope to get to that today. Good to see some of your faces pop into this Google slide. Billy, awesome. Again, I'm leaving this up for a minute. For you guys to get access to it, giving some shout outs as well. Alisal community, shout out from Isabel. VRB, shout out. Thanks, thanks, Maritza. A few other things. Mr. Ortiz, as you had a question as far as having a Seesaw class for each subject. In my opinion, right now especially, and again, some of this depends on what your class is used to. If you're just starting, try to have that one class. We mentioned folders. We'll see if we can get in that today. I make kind of no promises. I don't want to make it as a heavy lift for you, but as always, when there's a live stream option, this is one of my way I feel like I can help some of you that and make that time to connect with some of you that have been reaching out. So let me see here, a few other questions here as far as story time online. Sorry, Katie, I don't know anything about that. Can you embed a link to Seesaw test directly in Google Class? Wilma, kind of. Again, I'm just starting with some specific questions while everybody's still getting settled here. So let's see here. Yes, so some of my YouTube videos that I have, if you want my YouTube videos that you see, I do have them in Google Drive. Specifically, I made one, a fun song. There's a problem when sharing YouTube videos. So I do have some of these videos that you're seeing in my Drive. Also, if you go to kindrockets.org, a lot of the things that I try to put in my there as Drive videos, and you can see them there. So kindrockets.org, that's my website. Again, I'll type it in here for those of you that want to access. This is just a website. What I did is just, for a little bit of a nerd like me, this is just a Google site, but what I did is I purchased a name for it just to make it easier for people to access. It was $10 a year. That's a little bit more higher level. And yes, this is my Toad hat on my head, Estella, and it's fun. Okay. So I see a few of these messages in there. One last shout out here I see from Mr. Bueller. Awesome. Jeanette, Julie, and Jackie Mejia. Shout out to all the Mejia sisters. Okay. Also, as far as one more kind of thing I hope to touch on, as far as uploading worksheets, I want to talk a little bit about, can students zoom in? Yes, but I want you to think about, if you are going to just upload a practice book page, the format that we're going to do that in. So hopefully you got a little bit of time. If you're having some coffee, this is my, I just love coffee. Kinder Rockets, shout out. Cheers to the coffee again. Hopefully you guys are ready to rock and roll. I will also say, if you don't feel like you need this session or it's too fast for you, you could go back and watch one of the other sessions. Seesaw has some great PD in your PJs. If you go to the Seesaw, they have great PD in your PJs. I don't want you to feel like you're wasting your time. All right. So again, today's goals is really going to be taking our activities to the next level. We are going to be using Google Slides. Again, I will do my best to go at a good pace. I've gotten some good feedback from a lot of you about my pacing is good. Please, if you need to see something again, drop it in there. Remember, there's a little bit of a time delay between when you see this and when I see my question. Okay. So are you guys ready? Here we go. Let's rock. So again, I'm going to start out here with a little bit of review in my Seesaw class. And I want to just go over there because, you know, review is good. So let's start off with just looking at my Seesaw class. Again, we're going to start with the components of Seesaw. So first of all, again, we have our journal. What is in the journal? Everything that is posted from a student or a teacher can show up in the journal. So again, you can see here that you can see some of my students' work that's here in the journal. All right. Again, at the bottom of the journal, by the way, new tip I learned from yesterday from meeting with some awesome Barden teachers is you can actually move this meet thing around if it's in your way. And so I can click here again. Post to show up to review if that is on for me. I can click here in my journal and I can review the posts that are coming in. You can see it's great to see when some students are connecting at home. I can see these two items, right? I can see also I need to help this one particular student a little bit, which is okay, right? We're all a work in progress. So again, we have activities. I love activities for students because they are this one-stop shop, right? When I say that is when I click on these activities, and again, some of these activities I assigned this morning, I click on these activities, it's my one-stop shop. By the way, we got our 3 dots down here. I don't need this activity here anymore. I'm going to go ahead and archive it, by the way, okay? So again, here's the one-stop shop. For example, here's my gray bar. When I click on my gray bar, I can see all of my students who have completed this activity, and I can reach out to those that haven't. One of the things some of you guys asked me about earlier is this whole like kind of Seesaw help tutorial for students that are struggling. And this is something I'm still working on. What I've been doing, I'm going to show you today, is here in the activity, what I've actually done is and this is a fun one I did, a little bit of mix of digital and analog here. What I've actually done here, as you can see, I've embedded a little video which gives some direct instruction. This one is actually completely analog, right? But then as you kind of click forward in this video, you're going to see that I actually switch over to a Seesaw task. Now, this is a little bit more complicated, but you can see here, hopefully, now I'm actually kind of giving a demo of the Seesaw. So this is kind of how I'm using my activities, and I want to show you a little bit of this today. All right. So again, what I'm doing with my activities is I'm putting a little video, hopefully to help students. So this is activities. It's our one-stop shop to be able to see everything students are doing. Right now, are all my students connected? No, right? I've seen little bits and pieces. I'm just taking notes to see the students that are connected. I'm reaching out to family. My goal is to kind of I'm kind of thinking about classroom expectations in my mind. And so I have a sheet. I'm not ready to share it yet. Once I'm ready to share my kind of daily schedule, and I've kind of talked to a few people about it, I'll go ahead and share that as well. But I think one of the things is just we got to keep reaching out to parents and hopefully getting them back in there. So we got journal, right? That's where everything goes. We got activities. By the way, sorry, I'm going to go back to journal for a second. In my journal, I can click on and see everybody's things here, or I can click on individual students to see just what their works have been doing. Again, that's in my journal. Again, starting with a little bit of review, adding a few more pieces that I may not have covered before since you feel like maybe you know it a little bit better. Here's my activities that I've assigned to class. You can see scheduled. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about that today. We'll see. And then archived activities. What does that mean? So if I hear, and that's what I need to do, I have a lot of activities that I've actually posted in here. Every once in a while, if you're doing activities, archiving, just like your mail, it kind of takes those activities and it puts them so students can't see them. Again, and some of the stuff I'll go back over. Think of it as a preview review. So I can click here if I don't want this, because I see this as activity we did in class. I'm just going to archive this activity. I can still see responses. The responses are still visible. They just can't see the activity. I have, again, my blog. We talked about in the past setting up a blog here before and maybe putting some videos there. In your blog here, you can see is my letter song I made, and this is actually available on a YouTube video, but I also gave a link to the Google Drive. Just because, again, I know that our students are encountering some of those troubles, and so I'm trying my best to create some content that teachers can use and don't have to worry about violating copyright. All right, so another thing is this inbox. Maybe we'll talk about that a little bit, but later I want to really stay focused on activities. All right, so hopefully that's a little bit of review of your pieces of your Seesaw. All right, pausing for a second, looking for questions. Yeah, just big Miss Compost Lucy. Big shout out to all the ASD and Montebello team and all the support. I love it. I just hear a lot of awesome teachers helping teachers, you know, and all I keep saying is we just can do our best. It's hard. It's hard for me. And so just because I'm here doesn't mean it's easy for me as well. All right. Just again, pausing for a second. Okay. So again, why would I want to do archive? Again, just kind of reviewing that since I just talked about it. When a student logs in, there's a lot of activities here, and sometimes archiving it, just the student doesn't see the activity. And you can see I have a lot, and I don't want to necessarily feel like students are overwhelmed with doing some of these activities we did in class. Right now, I'm kind of putting some of these in here for them to feel like they can do something. But again, I archive it just because for me, I don't need to look at that specific activity anymore. Or also the fact that students aren't going to necessarily see it. If it's something that we did in class and they're not comfortable with, I'm going to get to the point, hopefully, where I can just have like the daily activities that are the ones that students can see in there. So hopefully that answers your question. We're going to start again by creating some activities. And again, I'm going to go over the pieces of the activities, all right? If you haven't seen this, I'll pop this up one more time. This is a template we're going to be using a little bit today. If you go to File, if you haven't already got it, you can make a copy, and you can make a copy of the entire presentation. Big shout out to Miss Yesenia Gutierrez. She creates a lot of the stuff in here too. And so we share this slide deck and we make activities for our class. You can pop in this anytime. Again, feel free to use any of these backgrounds, modify them. It's always good, you know, to do our best to just be responsible, and when we're using other people's work, and just use it in a responsible way. So again, you're going to need this today for some of our activities. So again, I'm leaving that there. File, make a copy of the entire presentation. If you request access right now, you won't get it. So go ahead and go to that File, make a copy. Again, I'm pausing here. It's also good just to see all of this. Again, little faces as I love it. Hey, Billy, shout out to you. I think this is Alex. Yeah, hey, Alex. Angela, good to watch you. We see you again. Ben, always good to see you guys that are in there. All right, so hopefully we've gotten our brains a little bit ready to do some learning. We're ready to dive in. Again, if you feel comfortable, my suggestion is to do a little tab surfing. And what I mean by that is put me open, like here's my meet. It's open in one tab. It looks a little different when I put this up. You just see stop presenting to other one. So if you have a meet for the tab, you can listen to me only if you feel comfortable. And then maybe so you can see here, I have another tab open here with my updated Seesaw template. That's probably a good to have open. Again, make your copy. And then maybe another tab I have over here with Seesaw. So these are really the tabs. Now, if that's too much for you, just watch and learn. Remember, you can go back, you can watch this again. I do have some specific activities, and just a reminder that a lot of the stuff I'm covering today in some form, fashion is in this slide presentation here. And where's that slide presentation? It's at coachben.org. All right, coachben.org. All right, so again, doing my best. Here we go. Again, I will do my best to toggle back and forth, give my attention to you as best I can. So really thinking about activities. Okay, what are the pieces of an activity? And we're going to start from the student view, and then we're going to go to the activity library and kind of pick a piece apart, and maybe even picking one of my activities apart to really deconstruct to see how I made it. So here we have, this is our student template, or sorry, not our student template. This is our example, right? Or the instructions. And again, I'll show you what that looks on the teacher side so you can see here. I've embedded a direct instruction video. Hopefully we'll do that today again. Here are the student instructions. Again, the emojis, again, you can do your Seesaw icon shortcuts. We did that last time. Hopefully, I had one person that I emailed it to. Here's your Seesaw icon shortcuts along with emojis. I can't help you with the PC for emojis, but I will refresh you on that shortcut for that. Here's the instructions. The student template. The students get access to the template by clicking here, add response. And for me, I put myself in. The sample student focuses on the same thing. So you can see here's the access to the template that's attached to this, right? Students can click on the template. They can view the instructions again. They can play the video again, but all this comes with a little bit of training. So this is my student's template. Again, there's this draft button here. It doesn't work as well, I feel like, on the teacher side, but students with the draft button, they can save their work, okay? The draft button, they can save their work and go back to it later. And then, of course, the green check, which we have to find ourselves pushing quite a bit. And yes, I'm going to go over how to modify instructions for sure. We will do that. I'm, again, really focused on really a deep dive today into activities. So those are the pieces from the student side. So now if you're with me and you're following along, I'm going to go back to my green button because that's usually how I get to my activity library, my big green button that says check. And I'm going to go to assign activity. Again, that will take me to my activity library, my section here. All right. So here is my library. All right. Your library is going to look different than my library. You might have some of the same things in there. You might have some different things in there. And here's what we're going to do. I want you to show you one of my activities, and I want to copy and edit it and then kind of talk about maybe some modifications. Again, trying to hopefully support you as best as I can in this step-by-step direct instruction. So if you are in my library, you can go to school and district. This is awesome. It's a part of our Seesaw for Plus. We're able to share between our school and district. And I really love, some shout outs here to, Candy, Natalie, great job. Elizabeth, Lisa, Jennifer, Maricar, Miss Gutierrez, Miss Zavala. Thank you for those of you that have been sharing activities here. It's really great to get ideas, and it's great seeing, especially those Spanish ones, and seeing this great creativity. So in here, it doesn't actually have to be my activity. You can pick any activity that you want. All right. If you want to kind of follow along with me, that's okay too. So let's go ahead, and you can see I'm scrolling down. Now, for some reason, if you don't see my activity, you can see up here in my in the library, you can see I can do some sorting, right? I can sort by all, and this will give me all the activities that people have been creating in the district, right? I can sort here by different subjects. I can sort over here by schools versus district. All right. So if you can find any activity, it doesn't matter. Right now, again, I went to school and district, right? I went to all grades. So I'm going to pick one just because you can modify somebody's else, but I'm going to pick one maybe that you want to modify. This one is an older one, or actually I'll do this one with the video. Sorry. I'm going on a letter hunt. So if you find this one, I'm going on a letter hunt. Does it have to be this one? No, it can be any one. So I'm going to actually click on the title of the activity, because watch what happens. If I click on the name, it takes me to that person's kind of activity. They're the library that they publish if they're an ambassador. Okay, what I want you to do is I went back, right? I want you to click on the title. Again, we're going to kind of deconstruct one of my activities so you can see some pieces of it, and hopefully that'll help. So you can see here, again, I'm going to go slow. Again, I'm going on a letter hunt. If you can find this one, great. If you can find another one, doesn't matter. What we're going to do is, again, we're deconstructing activities. Again, quick shout out again to all of students. Yeah, great job. Thanks. Great to have a principal in here, Mr. DeLeon. Appreciate that. I know, and classified staff. Yeah, that's really good as well. So thanks for joining us, Mr. DeLeon. It's great to have a principal in here. All right, so I have this activity up. So I'm going to search for the 3 dots, and I'm going to give your eyes a second to look for them. So I'm going to search for the 3 dots. Okay, here's the 3 dots down here. And hopefully it's not too small on your screen, but you can see there's a few things. Yours is not going to say edit activity because it's not yours. But I want you to find the copy and edit activity. Again, any activity will work. I'm going to show you how to modify an activity if you like to modify it. All right. So again, I'm in the activity library. I found an activity that I liked. I went to the 3 dots and I'm going to copy and edit. Again, just leaving my mouse there. I don't want to leave any of you behind and give you plenty of time to process, because for those of us, this is new. It's a lot of learning. So here's our cheers to coffee. If you have a nice warm cup of coffee, tea, or water, or protein shake, cheers. Okay. I decided instead of my normal mug to go with my thermos. It just keeps my coffee a lot more hot. So I'm going to go to copy and edit activity. And again, that way you can deconstruct the activity. And we're going to look at how it's built. So again, looking at the pieces of the activity, we went over this before. We're going to go over it again. You can see here, we have our activity name. That is required. All right. That is required. Here are my instructions. Again, you can see like here, where it says move, that is from where? My Seesaw shortcut icon. I printed my own out just because I don't like to have to toggle between lots of screens, and I keep this available and handy. Again, if you don't have this, just go ahead and do a Google search for Seesaw icon shortcuts. It's handy because when I type in that move, which one is move here? Let me see here. Move. I think it's the hand. So if you look here, you can see move. It will put in the hand. These others are emojis. So I have my steps there. I have voice instructions. I can add voice instructions again. You can see here I've attached an example. My example is my direct instruction with the video. And I also have my template. Again, what is my template? It is my Blackline Masters. It is what the worksheet that's in the copy machine. It is what my students do. All right, so again, just a review, because review is good for all of us. We have our activity name. We have our instructions. You can do voice instructions, your example attached. Now, here's what I want to do if you're following along with me in this specific activity. All right, what I want you to do is I actually want you to click on the template. All right, go ahead and click on the template. It only says share. As far as that activity goes, that's interesting. As far as Raina, it only says share. Just make sure it should say copy and edit activity. I'm sorry if it doesn't say share activity. It should do that, because if I go back, let me just open a new tab because I don't want to lose you. Thanks for giving me the heads up. So I'm going to go to Seesaw library because I don't want to lose my place there. In the 3 dots, and I don't know, that again, that's interesting. It should say copy and edit activity. If it doesn't, I'm just going to double check with somebody else's. Thank you for pausing me. Okay, again, I'm going to assign activity. I'm going to pick somebody else's. That's interesting that it says that, because that could be something new. But again, I'm going to check on, let me check on Miss Natalie Ragosas here. Okay, good. You were clicking the heart. Interesting. So maybe I need to, oh, that might be it. Okay. So for you, sorry, thanks for doing that. If you're having trouble, let's go ahead and go to the heart. And I think once it is in your library, thank you for pointing that out. So again, taking a step back. I'm sorry for if I lost anybody. Taking a step back, pausing, redoing. Here's Natalie's activity. If you want to copy the activity, you have to do the heart first, I believe. Now, I believe once it's in my activity library, sorry about that. My apologies. I can click on this, and now I believe if it's in my library, yes. So again, sorry about that. First, before you can copy and edit, and I'll give you a chance to catch up. First, before you can copy and edit the activity, sorry about that. Thank you. All you do is, and thank you. Sorry, all you do is heart the activity, add it to your library, and then you can copy and edit it. So again, if you found my activity or any activity you want to pull apart, heart it, which what does it do? It adds it to your library. Sorry about that. And then you can go ahead and do copy and edit. I'll give everybody to do a second again. So find that activity, right? Heart the activity. Where does it add it to? It adds it to your library. And then once it is in your library, you may click on those 3 dots and you may click on copy and edit it. All right. Thank you. Thank you again for Susanna being on that from Fremont. Thank you. I think you beat me to it. So shout out to you. All right. So give you in a second. If you found my, we're going on a letter hunt. You hearted the activity. It adds it where? To your activity library. And then the 3 dots, copy and edit. All right. Thank you. Perfectly. Thank you, Raina, for letting me know. Okay, so Art, I will get to your question on the difference between adding Screencastify video or through Seesaw. Okay, I'll get to that. So again, if you're with me, I want you to click on this template, and I'm going to pull apart these pieces, and then we're going to build it from there. So in this template, all right, you can see some pieces in this template. Right here, these are letters. Where did I add these manipulatives? Where do I add my manipulatives? The things I drag around, I have to add them in Seesaw. Now, last time, we built our whole activity in Seesaw, and I heard a few people that said, I built my activity, I clicked on something, I lost it. So I'm going to show you a few ways to help you with that. When you're working on an activity, you can save it. It's not the way you think about it though, okay? So again, see these manipulatives here that I can move around? These are my manipulatives in Seesaw, all right? These things in the background, I can add them in Seesaw, but I'm going to show you how to add them in Google Slides. If you've seen me before, you might have seen this. This might be a refresher. Here's a cool thing I actually learned how to do, and this is maybe today, maybe some other day, but check this out. I figured out how to make this. See this little help guy here? I figured out, look, I can drag it out, and students can actually get some help behind there, and it goes back. So you can see, what is this? This is just an image. This is actually just a screenshot. It's just the ability to layer things in Seesaw. And again, we'll get into some of that layering a little bit. So the background I can make in Seesaw, right? But a lot of times I prefer to make my backgrounds in Google Slide. Again, remember, a background could be any image, right? Any image at all can become a background. Can you take a picture of a fluency? Yes, that can be your background, right? Manipulatives, right? Once you add the image to the background, you're manipulative. So all these little manipulatives here, I added in Seesaw, added this in Seesaw. This, Steven, I had to add a picture in Seesaw. All right. This is a little bit of a fancy activity. And hopefully I'll get some of you there. Again, so pieces of this activity, background, right? That created in here or somewhere else. Today's going to be somewhere else. Manipulatives created where? In Seesaw, right? Manipulative. This is a manipulative, right? I took a screenshot of the correct order, and then I just kind of sized it correctly and did a little bit more, but that again is a little bit more tricky. Okay. All right. Stopping for a second. Again, good. So deconstructing the activity. You can click check if you want to, but if you click check, it's going to edit your template and it's going to save that. So I'm actually going to X out of this because I don't want to have any unsaved changes, right? To this activity. Okay. And there. So hopefully that, again, deconstructed this specific activity. Again, my name, I have my instructions, the video. I'm going to show you how to do the video today and a template that's attached. Okay, and so I'm going to go ahead and save this activity. All right, so when I go to my library, okay, I'm going to go back to my library, and you can just see where it is. So the thing that can be tricky if you copy a lot of this, copy and edit a lot of activities, I'm going to get rid of this right away because I have 2 copies of this, all right? But before I do, here's my question. I wanted to make sure I was in my copy. I'm going to go back in here for a second and edit this activity. Here's the question as far as how do I save my work? All right. I click on my template. I'm doing my work. All right. This is a template, so I'm just going to move some things around to show you how I can save it. All right. I'm doing my work, whatever. I'm putting things where they're supposed to be. I need to take a break, or I want to make sure my work is saved so I don't lose it all. So here's what I'm going to do to temporarily save my work so I can go back into it. What I'm actually going to do if I'm worried about losing it at a certain point, I'm going to hit the check. I'm going to actually upload it, and then I'm going to actually save my activity. And that will temporarily save that work at that point. Just that version here. Think a little bit like old school. This is not like Google Docs where it automatically saves all the time. This is like for those of us that grew up like with some of the original Word, you'd have to save your document, Command S, save your document all of the time. Okay. And so that's how to save it. So all I did is, again, when I want to save my activity, I go to edit activity. Now, if you look at, I can click on my template, whatever I'm working on. I can kind of move things around, and if I'm worried about losing it, I move it. Like right now, if I were to like exit out or exit this page, it would save it to my last point, right? If I want to save it, I've done my work. I hit the check. I don't have to publish it yet, right? And then I hit save. That way, it's just a temporarily save, right? Then you can go back, you can do a little bit more work. So if you're worried about losing your activity and your work, that is the solution to kind of get it some save. Is it the greatest solution? No. But if you're worried about saving your work, that is one solution. All right. So just pausing for processing. Second, what I just showed you was temporarily saving your work. Okay. So you save it and then you can go back and edit again. Hopefully that covers a little bit of the basics of the activity. All right, so this is an activity. If you've been with me at my session, our next activity we're going to do is kind of an ELD activity. I'm going to show you the activity we're going to take one of my templates. I could have just gone to the activity library. We're going to take one of my templates, kind of start small, kind of start easy. I'm going to show you how I'm going to do this. All right, this activity that I'm going to make. And again, if you were at me with a training, we've already done this before. And so here's the activity that we're going to work on today. This is going to be in choose or give reason. All of us need to kind of have that, I think, for ELD, right? And this is something perhaps our students that could do at home. This is what the activity we're going to make today. Again, I'm going to show you a little bit about how we're going to do it, and then we're going to build it. Again, a review. If I want to assign it for me to test it out, I can go to assign, right? I don't want this to go to all my students. So I'm going to go to assign. I can unclick or I can click there. Again, those of you that were asking about folders, here's where some folders are. Again, if I want to start creating language arts, math folders, I'm not going to get in deeply, but it just helps organize the folders. You can go back to and maybe find some of these things a little bit easier. We're focusing on activities. Sorry for the bird walk. So I'm going to go here. Here is my sample student. I'm going to assign it here just again so you can see what it looks like. I'm going to assign it here. This is the activity we're going to make today. It's fairly simple. All right. So here, this is what the activity is going to look like for the students. Basically, all they're doing, and maybe for your older students, you can change some of this, but all they're doing is really choosing whether they like tacos or pizza. And so we're doing the background here. The piece in the back is going to be done in Google Slides. And then here is our pieces that we're going to insert. Our manipulatives we're going to have to download. And I'm going to have to reshare my screen here for you to be able to see that. But you're going to see these are going to be the movable pieces. So this activity, we're only going to have 2 movable pieces. So with that, I want you to start thinking about, like, what are 2 choices that you want to give your students? It could be, would you like Frosted Flakes or Cocoa Puffs? Would you like language arts or math? Think about 2 things, choose this or that you're going to want to do today. All right, so this is the activity that we are going to make together right now. We'll go about 20 more minutes. Then what we're going to do is we'll take a break and then we'll keep working on this. Again, I don't want to rush through this. And so I would rather go slower than faster and lots of review. Again, this is the activity I'm going to do today. So hopefully you're ready. I'm not need to save this activity. So I'm just going to hit the X. I'm going to go to delete. And because I don't really need this right now in my activity library, I'm going to click the 3 dots. I'm going to hit delete. Now you're wondering, Ben, didn't that say archive before instead of delete? I know it's a little small on your screen. It does say delete. Delete activity shows up when nobody has put in a response. You can delete the activity. If somebody has put in a response, like here, oops, sorry. Nobody's put in a response to this. I guess I'm going to move this again. If somebody has put in a response, like for example, you can see one student here has put in a response, the option is only up for archive an activity. Okay, archive an activity. And yes, I do only have 1 class. I had to do some of that work at the beginning of the year. At this point, if you have 2 classes, just do 2 classes. Don't try to switch it at the beginning of the year next year. We can talk to the tech department, or I can show you how to make 1 class. All right, so I'm going to delete this activity. Oops, sorry again. I'm going to delete this activity, and I can delete it because nobody has responded. All right, so here we're going to go over, and hopefully you've made a copy of this already. If you're going along with me, find your copy of your Seesaw updated template. If you want to do a drive search, if you don't have it open, open a new tab. Shortcut for that is Command T or Control T if you're on a PC or Chromebook. Open up a new tab and open your drive and do a search. Again, you can just follow along. All right. I want to start from a template. And again, you can see we have lots of templates. All of these, what are they? They are backgrounds. I create my background here because it's easier for me to modify here. It's easier, again, I'll say it, it's easier for me to modify here and then just insert it as a background into there. Okay. Yes, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate again your kind comments. And again, if the going too fast, I want to know. So again, here I'm at my Seesaw template. If you're looking at mine, don't request access. Again, go to File, make a copy, and you can make a copy of the entire presentation if you want, or selected slides. All right, so here I am. I am on slide 6. So again, I'm not going to have you just build this. I'm going to, again, talk about this, and maybe if we have time, we can build one completely from scratch. We're going to build some muscle memory here. So if you've made a copy of this, you can see, I'm going to just point out some features of this, all right? I have a background in here, right? I put it a background, it's space. We are the Kinder Rockets, of course. I added some shapes. Okay, and I'm going to show you how to do this, not right now, but I'm showing you the pieces that are in here, and then we can just download and upload it, keep it simple for our first one. This is a shape. I typed in the shape. This here is a shape. I added this as a shape. This is a shape. Again, this is a shape. This I can also find under shapes, and you keep hearing me talk about shapes. Where are they? Here are the shapes, right? Here's the little shape icon. It's the circle, and it's probably a little small on your screen. So I apologize. So maybe I can do this. I'm not sure if it's going to make it any bigger for you. Probably not. Okay. So again, the shape is the circle in Google and the triangle. And then here are my shape options. I have options for arrows. I have options for color. I have options for equation. We will build one of these from scratch. But again, this is a shape. This is a shape. This is a shape. This is a shape. All right, this trophy is not a shape. This trophy, I inserted an image. Your image is just like you used to be on your camera, right? It's like the mountains, and I can search from the web. I talked to Mr. King about this. And yes, you can use Wonder's worksheets as backgrounds, by the way. Okay, so make a copy. It might take a second for you to make the copy, but go ahead and if you need to make a copy, it could be there's a lot of people in there. I like to insert my images. Again, this might be some new stuff for you, so I'm going to go slow. I like to insert my images that I use from this here, searching the web. And I talked about this with Mr. King yesterday. I do it here because Google will pre-sort the images for images that I am allowed to use and publish if I use images through it. So this image of a trophy, I just did a trophy. Okay. Here, these can be simply text boxes, right? You can put in text boxes. These are actually, again, I'm going to show you what these are. These are called word art. So when I went into insert, I go to word art. Notice we're not doing any of it right now. I'm just showing you so that hopefully when we create one in the second hour, some of this will be a little bit more familiar. Again, I like to do the word art here just because it's just one word, right? I can make it have two colors. You can see notice the outside is black, the inside is blue. All right, this is word art. This is word art. This is word art. Again, this is an image. So I'm just showing you the pieces. If you want to modify anything in here, the only thing you would really need to modify is my Bitmoji. If you don't want my Bitmoji in your presentation, you can just go ahead and so I'll make a copy of this slide. Okay, so if you want to make a copy and keep the original, if you've made a copy, look, see how I clicked on the slide 8 over here? I can go to Command C for copy, Command V for paste, or if I've clicked on the slide, some of you know this one, Command, I don't know if this D might be backwards or D, I'm not sure which way you see it. Command D. If I click on the slide and I hold down Command and I hit D, that's duplicate. So now you can see over here on my sidebar, I have 8 and 9. So what I can do is I can come over here and delete it. Now, if you want to put in your Bitmoji and you know how to, great, go ahead and do that. That's awesome. Add your Bitmoji, make it personal for students. If you just want to put a person thinking, how am I going to do that? I am going to have insert a person. Now, one person, if you don't have this toolbar, here's some things I want to show you about Google. That's a good point. Your toolbar will change depending upon what you click on. So notice my toolbar right here. Right now, it says I'm pretty much clicked on the side on the slide. It says transition, theme, layout, background. All right. And again, I know they're a little small for you, but when I click on this and a shape, when I click on a shape, my whole toolbar changes, right? It has some different things on there. When I click on the shape, my toolbar changes. And so you can see my toolbar has different options up here. When I click on something else, like an image, again, different options in your toolbar. The other thing, your toolbar might look a little different. And if my window size is smaller, what happens, and hopefully you can see this, what happens is some of those things are hidden behind these three dots. And again, my toolbar is now truncated, and you can see now behind these three dots here, I have the rest of my menu. So when I'm working, I try to make it as wide as possible by clicking and dragging on the side. Okay. Okay, and so some of this thing, how do I layer some of these things? Again, this is a lot of complicated stuff, lots of questions. If you're not using Google Slides, I'll do my best to go slow and answer questions. Again, all I'm doing right now is I deleted the image. You need to insert an image of a person thinking or your Bitmoji. Okay, so how am I going to do that? I'm going to go, you can go to Insert up in your menu, and you can go to Image, right? You can do it that way. Insert image, or you can just find the little icon of the image up here, and we're going to go to search the web. Okay, so now search the web. I can put thinking. We got a little bit of a surprise visitor here. Say hello to everybody.
Hi.
All right. Working at home, right? That's my youngest. If you don't know, his name is Jameson. All right, so I'm going to get a thinking, and maybe I want to type in thinking person. Okay. Yes, if your toolbar says view only, you need to file, make a copy. If your toolbar says view only, again, file, make a copy. Thank you for the clarifying questions, and thank you for your patience. Again, if your toolbar says view only, you need to go to make a copy of the entire presentation. Yep, that happens to me too, okay? And once you make that copy, it's yours, and you can do that. All right, so how about I'm going to insert this person thinking. So I can click on it, or I can just drag it in there. All right, I can click on it, and I can drag it in there. Now, again, here is a pro tip. Pro tip. When you grab it, some of you heard me say it, you grab from the corner when I'm doing an image. If I grab from the corner, right, I can shrink it. But that doesn't mean my ratio, if you're an older grade teacher, your ratio, throwing some tools in there, my command, I can go to undo if I move things around, right? My undo button up here, undo, or command Z. If I really want my ratio to stay perfect, there's a magical button that I hold. Again, there's a lot here of learning here today. If you're okay with just grabbing the corner and moving it, that's fine too. But I'm going to grab here. I'm going to go to Shift, hold my Shift button. What button am I holding? You got it, the Shift button. Shift and drag, and that shrinks this guy down. Okay, now watch. There's going to be another problem that some of you notice. Look, and this kind of goes to the trophy question. If you notice, this person is in front of my speech bubble, right? I need it to be behind. So again, like Seesaw, Google functions in layers. Images are layered on top of each other. I need to get this image in the layer where? In the back. So we're going to use what we call, like I like to call, my magical right click button. If you notice though, here's another thing. I can click on the image, and at the top of my screen, it says arrange in my menu bar. Arrange is in slide and tools. In arrange. Okay, now see up here, order. See under arrange, there's order. I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to do send to back. Now notice it also gives me my shortcuts for that, right? If you want to remember those shortcuts, again, this is how I learn it. Command arrow down is one shortcut. Send to back, command shift arrow down. Don't write this all down. Take what you understand. Don't feel like you have to learn anything. There's lots of tips and tricks here. So again, I'm going to review that. Click on the image. The image is in front. We need to what? Arrange it. We need to put the order to the back, right? So I'm going to click under here under arrange. I'm going to go to order, and I'm going to go to send to back. Another way of doing that, if you know how to use the right click on your computer, I'm going to right click the image. There's a huge menu bar that comes up with lots of awesome options. Right click is your technological superpower. Right click is different for everybody on a mouse. It's the right click. Some of us have trackpads that are set up differently. My trackpad, my right click is a 2-finger tap. Again, I'm going to go to order. This is the same thing I did earlier and send to back. Now, when I send it to back, again, I can now move this and put it where I want to. Another thing, and again, after this, your work in Google Slides is mostly going to be done. If you see the speech bubble is not quite where I want it to be. So how do I move this speech bubble? Well, I'm going to click on the speech bubble. Again, I'm trying to show you just a few skills right here. So when we do the next one, it's a little bit easier. So what did I do? A few things. I deleted my rocket. I inserted an image, right? I moved that image where? To the back. How did I do that? Again, by right-clicking or going on arrange, right? And going to order. Now, with this speech bubble I put in, and I'm not going to show you how to insert it if you don't already know. I need to move that little, and this is going to be hard for you to see for some of you that are watching. If I look very carefully right here, I can see that there's a little yellow dot here. If I hover over, watch the yellow dot. Watch, did you see my cursor change? Okay, when I hover over the yellow dot, my cursor goes from that 4 arrows to the plus sign. It's very subtle. You have to pay attention. So I'm going to click now and drag, and look, it moves the yellow dot. It moves only that part. Again, I'm trying to make these simple for you, just showing you a few tools in this. Now, I have my this or that background made. What did we make right now? We made the background. What do we need to add in Seesaw? We're going to need to add the manipulative. So for this one, I'm going to have to change the way that I'm sharing my screen here. So I'm going to stop presenting for a minute, okay? Because right now you can only see my application window, and I'm going to go back and I'm going to share this time my entire screen. It's going to be a little bit more messy, a little bit smaller. All right. Again, if you are looking for the slides, I'll put that up for a second. The slides that I'm using are here. I'll put that back up just for a second. For those of you that need it, take a picture if you have your phone out. So again, what I did right now is just made my background. What I need to do is now get my background to Seesaw. There's a few ways you can do that. If you know how to take a screenshot, you can take a screenshot of your slide. All right. So I need to think about, here's the steps. Think it with me. If I need to get it from slides into Seesaw, I need it to be an image, right? And so what I can do is I can download an image. When I'm downloading, remember, I'm taking it from somewhere else to my computer. I'm downloading it to my computer from slides, download to my computer. And then what am I going to do? I'm going to upload as a background in Seesaw. Okay. So hopefully you're ready. If you've just been watching along, again, I'm going to go here to slide 9. I have slide 9 selected. I'm going to go to File and Download, and then you download it either as a JPEG or a PNG. I'm not sure if there's a whole lot of difference. I'll leave my mouse here for a second. So again, I click on the slide that I want to use as my background, right? I go to File, I go to Download, and I go to PNG. All right. File, download PNG. And I do have a screencast in my Google slide presentation that walks you through these exact steps about how to create this activity. And it's shorter if you're looking for something to refer back to later. Okay. So I'm going to download this as a PNG, and it is going to go to wherever my downloads go. All right. So what did we do? We downloaded it as a PNG. You can see, maybe if you can see my screen, it popped up right here in my downloads folder. If you have a downloads, your downloads might be somewhere else. If you're in Chrome, it also downloaded down here. You can see it down here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Seesaw. What did we just do? We created our background. All right. I need to get to my activity library. Okay. So I can click on my library. So I'm in my activity library. I'll give everybody a second to catch up. All right. So again, we download it as an image. Can you take a screenshot of something else? Yes. Remember, anything that's an image can be a background. We made our own custom background right now. What did we use? We used Google Slides. Do you have to use Google Slides? No, you don't have to use Google Slides. Again, Cindy, specifically, if you want to just download slide 9 that I made, you can go from there. All right, that goes for anybody else. So here I am. I'm going to create a new activity. All right, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to put in a title. Let's do choose and give reason. All right, choose and give reason. We're going to keep it simple. I like to do my template first before adding this. And so just to give you guys an idea of break time, maybe we'll go, I want to get this activity completed, maybe about 10 more minutes, and then we'll take a break, and then we'll go to phase 2, kind of creating one from scratch. How do you add your Bitmoji and a PC? You should, Kayla, be able to add a Chrome extension for Bitmoji. And so if this doesn't interest you, earmuffs, just go to Command T, new tab, Chrome extension Bitmoji. It's a Chrome thing. You can connect your Bitmoji. Maybe I'll show you that in the second time. All right. So we need to add a template. All right. So hopefully you're with me. I am in the template. And so here we go. Here's my template. What do I need to do? Again, upload. I downloaded from Google Slides, and then I am uploading into Seesaw. What am I uploading? My background. So last time we made our whole background in Seesaw. Personally, I think that's a little bit more work, and again, it's easier, but hopefully it helps you with some of your tools. So I went to upload. I'll click on it again for those of you that missed that or want to see it again. So I'm here in my activity. I gave my activity a title. I'm going to student template. I'm going to add a template. What am I adding? I'm uploading. Okay. So find it where it is. For me, I love Chrome because it keeps it down here in Chrome. And so when I know it's a download, I can just literally click down here and drag it. Click and drag. Again, if you have trouble clicking and dragging, click and drag. All right. So here's my file. Again, I'm keeping it simple right now. So we have our background. Again, I like this. It looks nice, right? The size is pretty good. So now we need our this or that. We need our manipulatives. And our manipulatives, we are going to have to go somewhere else to get our manipulatives. So to finish this activity off, we're going to find our manipulatives. We're going to get our manipulatives, and we're going to put them in here. So to find my manipulatives, I am going to hit the plus sign. Okay. Let me show you how I do my manipulatives. A few of you have asked me about the noun project, or if you saw me use the noun project, that's one way to get lots of images for free. Again, that's the noun project. You can do a Google search. It's $20 a year for educators. I am just going to go, remember, this is a this or that. Hopefully I need to think 2 things to choose from. So here's my things that I'm going to choose from. I'm going to choose if students would rather have a soccer ball or a basketball. Okay. You may do whatever you want. Your image search. So I'm just going to do a search in my Google search for soccer ball. Okay. I'm going to go through this part slowly, hopefully for you. So I did a Google search for soccer ball. And where do I want to go? I am going to go to images, and let me see if I can crank up my, so you can see this a little bit better on your screen. For those of you that want to know how to do that, I hit Command plus. Hopefully now that's a little bigger on your screen. Here I'm at to images. Now, remember, these images right here and that I'm seeing right now are not necessarily free and available to use. So how do we find that in Google? I typed in soccer ball. I went to images, and I'm going to go over here to tools. And you have to be in images to go to tools. Okay. Now, here's what I'm going to do. Here's my tools. I can see size, right? I don't really worry about that. My next tool is color. Ooh, transparent. What does that mean? The background is transparent. There's my first search filter. The next one I like to use is called usage rights, right? Labeled for reuse. Again, where am I in? I'm at images. I'm at tools, and then I went to size, type, labeled for reuse. After that, maybe the last thing I want to do is type, clip art. Okay, so all of these things are images I should be allowed to use. And here's the easiest way I found to get it in there. I'm going to click on this soccer ball. How can I tell it's transparent and that it doesn't have that white square background? Is because if you look at my screen, hopefully you can see there's these checkered boxes in the background. So what I'm going to do is, this is my superpower, my right click, right? My right click. Whatever your right click button is, 2 fingers on my computer, maybe your trackpad has the bottom corner of your trackpad, or maybe you're using a mouse. If you have trouble with right click, get a mouse for yourself. Hook it up. I'm going to right click this image. And I'm going to go down to where it says copy image. So I clicked on the image. I clicked on the image where I could see the transparent background. And I am going to go to copy image. Let me do it again. Click on the image, right click, 2 fingers for me, copy image. Okay, this is tab surfing. So now this is I can tell this right here is my Google. It says soccer ball. I'm going to come back to Seesaw. Here is my activity I'm working on, and I'm going to paste it. I can either use my right click. Actually, never mind. I can't use my right click. To paste it, I'm going to use a shortcut. Command or Control. What's my paste shortcut? V. Control V. And I'm going to do that again. So I went over to this tab. I put all my filters in, right? Soccer ball, images, tools, transparent, label for use, clip art. I clicked on it. I found the transparent background. I clicked on it. I copied it. And then I came back to here. Oops, wrong one. Came back to here and Command or Control V. Paste it. Then I can resize. And look, this is my manipulative. Do you want to do this or you want to do that? I'm going to go over here. Boom. Okay. Now, I wanted a basketball, so I'm going to go over here. Now, watch what happens once you put these initial features in here. Now, I can come up here, basketball. Watch what it did. It kept my search features, right? I will do a video, by the way, pausing. I will upload a video of doing the demo. That's going to be second part. So again, for this, I see how far I go. I go as slow as I feel that is necessary to hopefully support you learners out there. And then again, I don't mind offering these on our PD days as requested, and that's my best way to reach a lot of you. So let's go to the basketball. I'm going to click on this basketball. Again, what am I looking for when I click on it? If it has the checkered boxes here in the background, okay, I'm going to click, right click on it. I'm going to copy the image. Don't copy the image address. Just copy the image. This is the simplest way I found to do it. Copy the image, come back over here, and paste the image, right? Resize. And again, here is my background, which I made where in Google Slides. I just added my manipulatives where I did a search for Google Images. I made them free to reuse. And now I can click check. The last thing I'm going to do right now is actually just type the instructions out. And then what we'll do is we'll save the activity and we'll show you how to do a video that you can upload demoing the activity. So here's my instructions. I'm going to kind of do this part a little bit faster. So I need to think about the steps. I'm not going to go ahead and get all fancy right now with the Seesaw shortcut iCuts. If you would like to do that, that's fine to put in your labels. So right now, I'm just going to go to right click, add response. And again, if you want to use those response, if you want to use these Seesaw shortcut icons, you can do that. Maybe I'll add a little bit later. Click on add response. Choose which you prefer. Let's see, number 3, move the item, or I should say with the hand, right? With the hand, move the item into the box. All right, number 4, if you want older kids, maybe you want to type a sentence, record yourself saying which you prefer. And then finally, click the check. I'm going to worry about my fencer instructor later just because it's a heavy load today with a lot of Google Slide. The last thing I guess I'll show you before the break. Somebody added about adding voice instructions. You can add voice instructions to your students. And so in this part, I'm going to do that right now. You can add voice instructions and your video. So after break, we'll do the video part, and then hopefully we'll have time for Google Slides. Again, I'm going to get as far as I can, going at hopefully a pace that everybody can follow along. So add voice instructions. I'm going to click here. If you haven't done this, it may ask you to allow access to the microphone. Here we go. I'm going to click here. Hey students, good morning. So the first thing I'd like you to do is go ahead and click add response for these activities. Then I want you to look at the two items that you see. And here you see a basketball and a soccer ball. Which do you prefer? Select the hand and move the item to your box. Then you're going to record yourself saying, I prefer, which ball you prefer. I prefer a soccer ball because, and then tell me why. I prefer a basketball because, and then tell me why. You could say, I prefer a soccer ball because I like kicking the balls with my friends. Or you could say, I prefer a basketball because I like shooting hoops. Finally, when you're done, make sure to listen to your recording and click check to submit your activity. All right, there you go. It's processing. Again, for now, I'm going to click save. We're going to actually come back and edit this activity if you're working along with me. For now, I'm going to go ahead and click save, and then we're going to come back, and you actually do need to save this, and I'm going to show you why, because we need to save it for making your video demonstration. Okay? And then again, if we have time after that, we'll work on creating some activities, the backgrounds in Google Slides. We went through the process again. We made our background in Google Slides. We downloaded it. We uploaded it to add activity, and we went from there. Over the break, I'm going to go ahead and give you that 10-minute break. Get your coffee, get your tea. I will be back in about 10 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and put a timer on. This is a great time. Again, if you have shout outs, go ahead and drop some shout outs in there. If you have questions that you don't feel like I've answered yet, you can shout outs. You can put them in there again, because sometimes, again, I lose the questions in the stream. So start your shout outs with shout outs. Do some first section. In the first section, we kind of reviewed some of the pieces of activities. We looked at some of the pieces of Seesaw again, and right now we made our own activity, right? Remembering that anything you can upload as an image can be a background. We make our backgrounds in Google Slides just because it's easier, I think, to manipulate and change in Google Slides, right? Seesaw can be a little cumbersome, so some of you have found out. Yes, I will definitely review a few of those Guadalupe, the review it back and delete buttons, and what happens on the student end. You know, the send back, I got to be honest with you, Guadalupe, I need to see that because I didn't use that a lot. It's still a newer feature. And then the delete button, if you could tell me a little bit more about that. Do you mean the delete, Guadalupe, delete the archive? Is that the one you're talking about? So if you could just follow up with that question, that'd be awesome. So here's our activity we made before break, right? We did the background in Google Slides, and we made that as an image. We found the images. Remember, we did a Google search. We used our image tools, and we did transparent. We did clip art. We did free to reuse. That way we can share this with anybody, and we don't have to worry about any copyright violations. And so this next step is I'm going to show you how to make a video tutorial. So what is that video tutorial? Again, in my Seesaw activities, you'll see it here. I do an actual video tutorial. Now, we're not going to get super fancy today. There's definitely a next level. And again, maybe there's another webinar. I keep saying this, and maybe these webinars will never end. I enjoy working with you guys, though. It definitely, I love being in the classroom. I definitely sometimes miss working with a lot of you guys as a TOSA. Just internet slow. This is a video. I guess you'll take my word for it, right? And this is where I actually give the instructions to the students. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to do that video instruction. What are we going to use to make a video? This should be a review of some previous learnings, but I'm going to review it anyways. The Screencastify extension. And sorry, I apologize in advance. I hear my kids are in the background, and we'll do what we can. Hopefully there's not too much screaming or crying. All right. So we are going to use Screencastify. to do this. And again, I have some videos on this that are shorter, that are, where are they? They're in the coachben.org presentation. You can see them in there, or you can go to, I'll show you at the end, but I'll show you where all this lives. All right. So I need to make a video that explains this. All right. I'm not going to get fancy with this first one. All right. That you do, because I actually definitely add a little bit of fluff and some more visually aesthetic things. Maybe that's the next webinar. But what I need to do is I need to be actually able to demo the activity, right? How do I demo the activity? Well, here's how I demo it. The delete button next to the back button. Okay, I'll look for that. Thank you, Guadalupe, for getting back in there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, to demo this activity, I'm actually going to assign this activity. But I am not going to assign it to everyone. I'm going to assign it, and this is where sample student, if you don't have that sample student turned on, maybe I'll make sure that we have that right now. So sorry. Keep here if you're with me, if you know you have that sample student on. Okay. So for sample student, again, if you don't have this on, it's important to put on. Here, I went back to my Seesaw class. I'm going to click on the wrench, right? And when you go here, I believe, so I clicked on the wrench, and under students, you can see enable sample student. I added myself as a student, but you should probably do enable sample student. Okay. So again, if you don't have it, you need a sample student for your demos. To enable that sample student, you're in your Seesaw class. You click on the wrench, you go to students, you go to enable sample student right there, enable sample student. Boom, turn it on. All right. So now I'm going to go back to my Seesaw activity that I was just about to assign. How do I get back to activities? I go to the plus, I go to assign activity. And then I'm going to find my activity that I want to assign. Here it is right here. Who am I going to assign it to right now? Just me or the sample student. Here you go. There it is. And I'm going to hit check. Okay. Now, right here, it says one student. Again, it's a little small for you. Just trust me. It says one student there. And I'm going to click on assign to class. The quickest way to get to this activity, if you're following along, is this pop-up that pops up. There's view activity in Kinder Rockets. Okay, Kinder Rockets. It's going to say your name of your class. So now I'm all set up to do my demo. Okay, are you ready? Oh, by the way, I'm sorry. I apologize earlier. If you're drinking, remember there is iced coffee and iced tea as well. So I apologize for leaving anybody out. So let's just take a second. I know my voice is a little hoarse. I mean, I just love my coffee. I'm sorry. Okay, are we ready? So we're got to think a little bit about, what do I want my students to do with this activity? Now, eventually you can build in like your direct instructions. Oh, thank you for finding that. Look, this is what they were on a mission to find. We've been using this at home to, it's our big Kagan timer, right? To set up some things like, hey, you got to read for 20 minutes, right? 20 minutes. They got to write. Anyways, good job, kids. That was their mission over the break. Okay, so going back to where we were. Right now, I'm just going to demo the activity. I can build in my mini lesson, right? That's another step we can do, right? And some of that is either pre-building some slides, and maybe I'll kind of just give you a few at the end, kind of show you a few things. Again, some of it depends on time. Recording my mini lesson. All right, I'm just going to check here real quick, make sure we're all good to go, and we're still recording. Good to go. Okay. All right. And so I just had a panic attack. I'm like, oh, is my mic off? But then I realized probably somebody would have said something by now if my mic was off. All right. So recording my activity. This is we're going to go step by step, as I always try to, hopefully with you. I'm going to come up here, and first I'm going to think about what I want to say, right? I'm going to click on Screencastify. Hopefully this is going to work correctly. I'm going to not turn my web camera on just because I'm currently using my web camera for you to see me. But again, when you record instruction for your students, I highly encourage you to turn your webcam on. It takes up some screen space, but the kids, they want to see you. They want to see you, right? If you can paste your photo to Facebook, if you can post your video to Facebook, you should be able to post it here too. If you can't, just be brave, okay? If you want to get a fun hat or a cool mask, maybe that's like Batman, maybe that's whatever, something you can do. All right, so here what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and I'm going to record. I'm recording what? My demo for my students. Okay, so here we go. For this, like I've done before, so you guys can tell like I'm switching to talking to students. I'm going to switch to this for a minute. Okay, this is my, all right, here we go, record. Okay, so by the way, with this Screencastify, if you know, I can think about where I want my image to be, right? And because my web camera is on, right? And I can move it around. Let's go back. I'm going to double check and turn my web camera off because again, I don't want it to get kind of double time. All right, so here we go. All right, I'm going to record. You probably want it on. Okay, what do I want to record? Your entire screen. All right. Application window would just record one of these windows, right? So if I'm just sticking in Seesaw, rather than recording my entire screen, which you're seeing right now, I just want to record my application window. All right. If that's too much for you, just record your entire screen. Now I'm going to hit share. Okay, ready? 3, 2. Hey there, Kinder Rockets. It's me, Mr. Cogswell, and today we're going to talk about choose and give reason. So when we choose and give reason, I'm going to give you 2 options, and you're going to choose one, and you got to give me some reasons why you're going to choose that one. So here we go. Let me show you what you're going to do in Seesaw. And remember, watch the whole video, right? And so once I've watched this whole video, I'm going to click on Add Response. So I'm going to click here on Add Response. And remember, this part doesn't show up for you. All right, now here's my activity. And so I'm ready to start. Oops. Oh, man, I didn't mean to draw that line. So what I can do? Go up here, and I'm going to go to what? Undo. Undo. Okay, so let's see. Undo. Be patient when you're clicked. Sometimes, there you go. So I'm going to use my hand. Now I'm going to think, which of these would I rather play with? Would I rather play with a basketball or I rather play with a soccer ball? Well, you know, I like playing basketball, but I'm not really that good at making the baskets, but I do like playing soccer. So I think I'm going to choose soccer. So here's what you're going to do. After you think about it, what you're going to do is you're going to move your item over here to this trophy in the center right here. Okay. All right. So here we're going to do is we're going to click on our microphone and we're going to record. So let me think about what I'm going to say first. I prefer soccer because I like kicking the ball with my friends. I like shooting goals and I like running. Oh, I could give 3 reasons or 1 reason. I'm going to give 3. I want to challenge myself. Here we go. Record. All right. 3. All right. I prefer soccer because I like to kick the ball with my friends. I like to shoot goals and I like to run. These are the reasons I prefer soccer. Now remember, when you're done, make sure to click on the green, and it's important every time. What do? We listen to our video. Okay, let's listen to our video here. All right. I prefer soccer because I like to kick the ball with my friends. I like to shoot goals and I like to run. These are the reasons I prefer soccer. Now remember, when you're done. All right, so here we go. I got my whole activity. I'm good. I listened to the whole thing. I'm okay with that. I'm going to hit my green check to turn it in. And after I'm done, I can either do another activity or go explore some of the items in the blog. And so with that, great job, Kinder Rockets. And remember, always do your best. Why? Because you're a Kinder Rocket. All right, I'm going to switch back to my hats so you can know I went out of my teacher mode. All right. So here we go. I am back into now my Screencastify popped up. Now you can see here's my video. The first thing I want you to do if you're following along with me and doing this with me is click up where it says Untitled. All right. And I'm going to hit delete and name it right away. And that just makes it easier to find. Choose and give reason. Okay, choose and give reason. Right now in my Screencastify, I can hit play. Josh did a good tutorial on Screencastify. If you want to learn a little bit more about that, you can go to the Alisal EdTech website. I know Josh sends that in all his emails out. Notice again, one of the things I modeled in here was the undo button. I modeled the whole activity. I tried to model my thinking. Now, normally you would also see my face in there with the webcam. Again, I didn't use the webcam because I didn't want to have any chance with cutting off this stream. All right, so here we go. You can see it's in Google Drive, right? It's in Google Drive. I, by the way, could share this to my classroom from right here. So what I'm going to do now is I have my demo. I'm going to go back to the activity. Here's the activity. All right, how do I get to my activity again? I click on the green button. I go to assign activity. I need to attach those instructions that I just made into the activity. All right. And so here is my activity that I made, right? I'm going to click on the activity, go find you. I'm in the activity library. I'm in my library. I'm going to click on this activity. Okay, I'm going to go to the three dots over here. I'm going to pause and let you think about if you can see it, what I'm going to click. Here's what it says. It says add to collection, copy and edit activity, delete activity, or share activity. Think about which ones. Do I want to create a new copy right now? No, I just want to change my current copy, which means I'm going to edit it. All right, and now here's to the point where I want to add what? I want to add multimedia instructions. I'm going to add my multimedia instructions here. Okay. Where are they located right now? They are in my drive. And I know some of you that have had some issues with Drive, I'll kind of demonstrate the workaround here. And so I could just click my drive. Again, they're where in my drive. And this is part of the reason I named it, because then when I'm naming it, I can just type in the name of the video here in my search bar. So right now it's, again, thinking. And so you can see right here, choose and give reason. I can just click there and go on select. Boom. It uploaded fairly fast, at least the thumbnail. Now, this is where I had a problem with last time when I was streaming with you guys, is this check. It took forever. So let's say you're in the same problem as like, I can't get that green check to go away, right? I can't get it to go away. I'm going to show you your alternative, okay? Try the Google Drive. If that's not working, okay, I'm going to delete and start over. Here I am in upload. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to my Screencastify. Again, I'm toggling between two tabs. I'm going to download it. And I'm just going to click on this download button. And right now, if I notice, usually it's been pretty fast for me. It downloads pretty fast. It's, again, downloading here in my bottom of my Chrome. I'm going to come to Seesaw. Okay. Now, this is especially for you, Melinda, that was having trouble with your uploads. I downloaded it first, right? Download from Screencastify to computer, upload from computer to Seesaw. Again, if it's not working from your drive, this is an alternative. Okay, drag and drop. All right, and let's see. It's uploading. Let's see if this way's faster. I have honestly had better luck with downloading than uploading than having it connect to my drive. But again, right now, I'm taking up a lot of my internet by talking with you wonderful people here. And so mine might not upload quite yet. So I'm going to give that a second, and maybe I'll review the steps orally. Okay, I got the video there. Oops, there you go. See how much faster that was when I downloaded and uploaded it? Now, one of the things I'll kind of talk about at some point is this in the background doing this. Okay, so here this is. Here's check, right? So now in check, here's my activity, choose and give reasons. Here's my instructions, right? And now I have this example activity, right? And if I want to check it, I can click on it and then I can watch it there. But I'm going to click through and I'm going to go to save. All right, now here's my activity. This is the first thing I did, and then I kind of upgraded from there. All right, here's my activity. I can click play.
Hey there, Kinder Rockets. It's me, Mr.
You can see here's my activity. You can't see me right now because I didn't enable my webcam, but as I go forward, you can start to see that I'm actually demoing the activity, and I'm using my teaching through using the activity, doing a lot of my direct instruction and my thinking in there doing that. Okay, and so you can see that way. And then now if I want to assign this to my students, I can go ahead and assign it right here. All right, hopefully that helps you with that part. Again, walking over the steps. My first step, when I did this, is I assigned my activity before I made the video. Okay, I did my activity. I'm ready to do the instructions. I assigned the activity to who? Myself, right? I hit check. I hit assign to class. I went to my class. Again, this is a review. I got my activity all up. Now you can see, by the way, the thumbnails are different because the activity has changed. I went to Screencastify. I clicked on Screencastify. I did my whole modeling, right? Once I got my video, again, these are a lot of steps here. That's why I'm going for it. So I made my Screencastify video. Oh, look, here's my Screencastify video. I'm really happy with it, right? I can try to download it. Remember, I had a lot more luck downloading it and then uploading it. Like, again, Melinda, one of the things you were talking about earlier. I went to Seesaw. What did I need to do? Yep, I needed to edit my activity. Again, this is a review, nothing new. That's why I'm going a little faster so you can see it kind of all in one. I edited my activity, right? I clicked the 3 dots. I edited the activity, and here I uploaded. Again, I'll even do it again for you. I took my instructions, and again, I uploaded them. I found it was much quicker to download it and upload it again. I know. And then I uploaded it. I attached it to that activity, and I hit check. And that way is a great way to get some of that direct instruction in there. Okay, now while this is uploading, let me tell you how I can maybe make that direct instruction even a little more awesome. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to go to my drive, which is a mess. My drive's a mess. I'm embarrassed. Again, take that sip of coffee, iced tea, iced coffee. Hopefully you're using a reusable straw. All right. Now, here is what I've done. And again, some of this stuff I'm willing to share with you. Just kind of let me know. The best way is maybe I'll just share it with everybody or put it on the website. I starred my folder that I like to use. And again, to star a folder, I just, you can right click on the folder and you can go to starred. That's a bonus point just because I can get to it quicker. All right. Got another visitor here. And so here is what I have done as far as kind of like thinking about some ways to even boost up my direct instruction a little bit more. All right. No, thank you. Yes, but I'm talking to a lot of people. You can say hi right now, but you can't see them, but they can see you. Okay. Great lesson in digital citizenship, right? So that means you got, if they're watching you and we're in a meeting, you got to be respectful of that. Okay. Thank you very much. Good job, buddy. All right. So this is kind of what I did. And this is showing you another way to kind of include some of that direct instruction. No, thank you. Thank you for the hug. All right. Just be careful with my ears because the earbuds are going to fall off. All right. So if you notice, this is a Seesaw activity I did on what is a sentence. Okay. There's going to be a few more advanced tips in there. If this is too much again for you, that's okay. I'm just going to show you some of the possibilities. This is my slides for what is a sentence. And so I wanted to do some pre-teaching in there. Okay. So what I did is I made these slides. Okay. I made these slides in Google Slides. Oh, by the way, this is done now. I made these slides in Google Slides. Let me get actually this activity up for you so you could see kind of like the whole process. Again, I don't know if we'll have time to create another activity in slides today. You kind of saw little pieces of how I did the backgrounds. We'll just kind of see. I think this is kind of probably a little bit more important. But I will kind of show you some resources again, and we'll go from there. So this can be done just with your in slides, and you can just use a pre-existing Seesaw activity. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find this activity. And again, Sharon, one of the reasons, one of your questions is why did I not choose the video choice? Okay, so I'll hit that one too in just a second. So this activity that I did here, let me see, was what is a sentence? Okay, so just like the process, what I went through is I'm getting ready to kind of do like my screen recording, right, for my demo. And so I got it all ready. I assigned it to myself. Again, you're going to see me kind of go through this whole process again with adding another layer on it. And so here, all right. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get my slides ready. Again, this is adding a little bit more bulky instruction to your activity. I got my slides ready. Now here is a problem. Again, this is a little more complicated. When I go into present slides, I have no button. There's a shortcut to record in Screencastify, but I don't have a button to do that. Okay. And so it makes it a little difficult to toggle between that. Now watch once I did in full screen. This is probably the easiest way. Again, when I went in full screen, there's another way I can do this, but when I went into full screen to be able to get access, look what I did. See, there's this menu bar here at the bottom. And again, I clicked on the kind of the make it smaller thing. So here's what I did. Now here's my slides for what is a sentence. Okay. This is my lesson. All right. Here is the Seesaw activity that I want to demo. Again, I'm going to go through this whole thing again so you can see it one more time, the recording part. Everything is already set up. I'm going to go here. I'm going to, again, get ready to record. Again, here's what I'm going to do so you can see, right? I'm now talking to my students. Okay, here's the record button. Okay, I'm going to record my entire screen for this one. And again, you're going to see me go through the process. 3. Hey there, Kinder Rockets, and welcome. Today, our lesson is, what is a sentence? And so, what is a sentence? Remember, in the sentence, we have 4 parts. We have, again, model, 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 model. Model, I'm doing all my modeling. I'm sharing my thinking. This is a sentence. This is not a sentence. Talk, talk, talk. Share, share, share. Talk, talk, talk. Share, share, share. All right, now when you're done with all of that, students, hopefully you have a little bit better idea of what is a sentence. I'm going to go to Seesaw in here, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do my tasks. Now, keep in mind, teachers, you got to make this video under 5 minutes if you're going to stick it into Seesaw. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use my hand and I'm going to think about what we talked about, the parts of a sentence. Model, 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 model. All right, when I'm done, I'm going to go ahead and record. Okay, record. Here's what I'm going to say. Model, 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 model. Okay, hit the green check and turn that in. All right, great job, students. And when you're done, go ahead and do other activities or go to the blog and check it out. Thanks for watching. Good job, Kinder Rockets. And so you can see that was the, oh, hey, buddy. I got my dog here now. What I did with that activity is, I did the same process that I did before. I just made some Google Slides. And I know that's complicated for some of you, and that's okay. Places to start, and maybe that's one thing. Maybe we could talk to the ed tech department if people feel like they need a training in Google Slides because you're using it a lot more. That's a good thing to request. So you can see here, you see kind of my whole model right now, and then you're going to see it over here. It's going to switch over to Seesaw, and this is like one way to do a whole mini lesson with your video, right? If you can build that in there. Okay, so hopefully that helps with that part. Again, come up here and edit it, right? Edit your name, click up here, and we like model what is a sentence. Now with this one, because I already made a video, and if I messed up, I can just go ahead and delete. So I don't have so many in there because your drive is going to start to get clogged like mine is. And so if you ever want to trim down and Screencastify, right, you can just go in there and delete. Right. So now after I recorded, what would I do? I go to my activity, right? I just made that. Now this is going to get to your question, Sharon, as far as why didn't I put it in a video? So let's say again, I'm going to go to this activity again, okay? Because this is like my play activity. This is the activity I demoed. I'm going to go here. Okay, the 3 dots is what I mean by here. I clicked on the activity. I'm going to go to edit activity, right? Because we need to upload our example. Okay. I need to upload my example. And so what did I do? I went to add multimedia. Now, why didn't I do a video? Let's experiment. Here's why I didn't do a video. Because when I do a video, and this is a way I could teach them, right? But I can't show them the Seesaw part. When I do a video this way, it just records a video of me talking. That's why I didn't upload a video, because when I do video, it's taking a video using Seesaw. I don't want to take a video using Seesaw. I want to take a video using Screencastify. And therefore, that is why you need to upload it. That's a great question, though, because sometimes I click on video. We need to upload it. And again, if you notice, for it to be a little quicker, I just simply came here. I downloaded it, right? I downloaded it, and that was quicker. And then I went ahead and I uploaded it here. And that was a little bit quicker. All right. Hopefully that shows you a little bit more about about like my direct instruction and how I'm doing that. Again, we use Screencastify. If I don't want to save it and I want to keep the example I had, I can just actually exit out and disregard. Okay. And then you can see that example still there. Again, you can just use Screencastify and just use your activity, right? Like we did the first example. You can build some Google Slides, right? And to toggle back and forth between full screen, you can see I clicked here on this menu bar, and you can do your mini lesson. Again, any of these Google Slides you see, I'm willing to share this folder as view only, and you could make some copies if you want to share back and kind of do some of that stuff. That's pretty awesome. I made my presentation here. I gave my mini modeling, right? I uploaded that to Seesaw. hopefully that helps you as far as the piece as how do you get your modeling in there for those activities. Do you have to train your students to go in and see there and see this? Yes, you need to train them that they need to go in here and they need to watch the whole video, right? Again, and here I'm going to go delete. I'm going to archive this activity. One question I guess I wanted to add a little bit earlier. I know Lupe, the delete button next to the send back button. Oh, yes. Let me get back to that question. So let me jump in here and see my student that's responded. Now, here, right here, I can see one of my students responded. Great. Look, he even typed it. I like the robot. Great. So my mini lesson, he at least did a question. He drew it. Now, let's say this student, I did not like this. They were totally like just scribbled all over it. Put some random video in here. The delete button here in this activity, it deletes it. The students has to do it completely again. The send back button, I think they send back it again, send it back again. And when the student were to come in here and look at the activity, I need to see exactly what that looks like, but they'd be able to do it again. Hopefully that helps you, Lupe. Do we have enough memory to download the videos we need? Well, I'm going to tell you, just being very honest, I'm guessing I may have more things on my computer than you do, right? I could be wrong. Your computer could be very full. These files are actually not that big of files as far as their size overall. They're just in the megabytes. And some of them are a little bit bigger, but the habit is what you can get into if you need to fill up space, right? Is throw the files you don't need out, right? Because you don't need to save them on your hard drive. Like here, this file, I'm done with this. I can just drag it here and put it in my trash, right? I can come here. I don't need this WebM. I can drag it here. I can put it in my trash, right? Right-click my trash, empty my trash. I don't need to save these on my hard drive because where are they saved? They're completely saved in Google Drive. That's a great question. All right. So hopefully that helps. Now, here's what I want to tell you. I'm going to do a review, but I know I said to some of you, I want to kind of work a little bit more in Google Slides. So let's just do a little bit more work in Google Slides, right? If you're done, if that was enough for you, if you don't want to see practice Google Slides, turn me off right now, right? You can watch the part later. I will show you before some of you may want to go is again, I'm going to open a new tab. I'm going to go to www.coachben.org, right? Coachben.org. Here are some of my resources that I can offer, right? So here, by the way, I did a session on blending in the classroom. It was on Facebook Live for our virtual spring Q. If you want to watch that, it's there for you. This is what, again, I wanted to show you. Here is these resources. You can click on this presentation, and if you go, and if it opens up like this, right, you can just, you can click over here on the slides and go this way, but here's a little trick if you want to open them up in your Google, is if you click on this cog, right? And if you go to open editor again, open editor, I'll leave it right there, right? I'll open it here. Okay, I'm going to open the editor, and this will pop up my whole presentation in Google Drive. Now, question for you, Rosario. When you say please how to share to individual teachers, you're talking about the activities, I assume. So yes, I will do that here in a second before we kind of move on. Here's the activity again. If you look at this, this has a lot of helpful things with Seesaw. I do have some YouTube videos in here that you can watch. One of them, and these are also on my YouTube channel, one of them shows you the secret sauce to making activities. That's what it's called. You can see here, you can do a YouTube search, spilling the sauce for Seesaw activities. You can see this in here. Okay, this shows you that whole process in about a 15-minute video. All right, so if you're looking for a smaller, more digestible chunk. If you want to see the remote learning with Screencastify where I use that, there is that video. It is also available if you look here. Again, all this stuff is free. I don't sell any of my stuff. You can also go to my YouTube channel, and I will actually move this playlist up and do a search through my YouTube videos. Okay, I don't want to spend too long on that, but I wanted to point you to some resources. I'm going to go back here and show you the last thing that I would like you to do, or the last question I had, in activities. All right, I'm going to go back to my activity libraries. If I just want to share with a colleague, that's a great question. I'm sorry I skipped that. Yeah, so as far as Marcia, the whole thing with demonstrating my activity and making the screencast, basically I'm just doing this the activity and recording my screen with Screencastify. Again, if you're a little bit unsure to how to do that, go and watch those videos that I just made. I tried to make them a little shorter. Okay, so let's say I just want to share this with an individual teacher. That's a great idea. So I have my activity. This is my activity. I click on the three dots. I'm going to click on share activity. All right, now when I bring share activity, you see here it says email to teachers. I'm going to click on teachers, and it should bring up my teachers that are at my site, that are enrolled in my site. So these are all teachers that are in my site, which is why they pop up. If it's somebody else, and hopefully, Rosario, I spell your name right. If it's you, Rosario, period, Delgadillo. Hopefully that's your Alisal email. I can type in the email or I can copy and paste it. Okay, I can hit check, and then I can send you the activity. It will show up in your inbox. If you don't want to share it with the world, that's a way that you can share it with individual teachers. So again, just reviewing, if you need help with that whole Screencastify thing, yes, it's a little bit more of an advanced skill. You can go and you can watch that YouTube videos again. Real quick, can you directly send me? Yes. If I can send you those videos, but I need you to send me an email. Okay, send me an email. I'll get to you hopefully sooner today than later. ben.cogswell@alisal.org. If you want those specific videos, I will also make them attach them. Maybe I'll share those with Josh as well, and so you can have access to them. Just trying to give everybody. All right. So again, we reviewed a lot of activities. Maybe I'll do a review, and if anybody wants to hang on for a few more minutes, just play around in Google Slides a little bit, not a lot, and then maybe that can be, again, continuing these webinar series. Just, again, keep letting me know that you're interested in these. And then I do have by the way, I do have a few questions in there, and so what I will do is actually, here's what we'll do. I'll do a quick review of what our learning was today. I'll review some questions, and then I'll just do a little bit of Google Slides. If you want to hang around, great. If not, maybe we'll do a whole webinar on that because there's a lot to it. I'm sorry we played with it a little bit with the backgrounds and making activities. Again, you can see once you get in there, there's a lot of new learning here. And again, I have kind of my plan of what I want to go over, but I want to make sure to meet your needs as well. Okay, so again, reviewing what we did today. What we did today is we really talked about how do we embed this video here of direct instruction and maybe make some different backgrounds in Google Slides, right? So we talked about we can make some of our backgrounds here in Google Slides, right? And you can see, you can just take these backgrounds, you can modify them a little bit. These are the templates that I want in the background. You can see here's some templates. I'll just kind of show you a few more, this or that. This was Miss Gutierrez, the silent E. Okay, again, a few more this or that templates. This was a Three Little Pigs background. You can see Miss Zavala, she made Ariel, shout out to you, a number bond background. This was Jen. You can see lots of different backgrounds in here. Again, you can do this just because it's easier. You don't lose your work. It's easier to save. It's easier to manipulate, in my opinion. So you can see these are a lot of different template backgrounds that were made in Google Slides. If you made a file, made a copy of this, you should have all this. Again, that's where you can get that. So those are all the backgrounds, right? The backgrounds to my Google Slides. What we did is we took a background here, we tinkered with it a little bit, and then we downloaded it and uploaded it, right? Download from Google Slides, upload it as an activity into Seesaw. So again, I I had my activity, I created a new activity, I uploaded my background into Seesaw, right? Now, again, I'm trying to kind of demo it a little bit faster because really once you get in that groove, right, I upload it as a template, okay? Sorry, I keep kind of changing some of my direction, but I'm trying to really go off your feedback, right? I uploaded it. I found my manipulatives where? In a Google search. And so I just did a search for soccer for this one, soccer ball, right? Soccer ball. Again, you're seeing me do the whole thing again. A lot more quicker this time, more fluid. Tools. Oops, sorry. I got to click on images first. That was my mistake. Images, tools, right? Because I want to find those free to use clip art tools. I did the color. I did transparent. Again, I'm just repeating what I did earlier. Usage rights. I went down here, modification, type, type. I'm going to do a clip art. Okay, and then I clicked on my soccer ball here. I copied it. Again, I'm going a lot faster. In Seesaw, I'm adding my manipulatives. I copied it here, right? I put it here. I came back, right? I went for basketball. I needed my other. Again, all my filters stayed the same. I went over here. I went to copy image. I went to my Seesaw activity. I pasted image, right? This is my template. These are my manipulatives. I saved it. Again, I'm going through the whole process one more time, okay? I saved the activity, right? I built my template. Let's just put test here so I know. I wrote all my instructions. Right now, I need to do my Screencastify to make my demo for my students. What did I do? I recorded my explanation. I recorded my screen. So to do that, I assigned it to how many students? Just one, right? Just one student. Okay, I hit the check. I assigned it. I went back to class. Okay, again, I got myself ready to talk to my students. Again, if you're going to keep it simple, this is it. I turned on, I got my Screencastify, right? I'm recording my screen right now. It's a little bit tricky for you because you're like, well, I see your screen and you're recording my screen. How do I know that? So I'm recording my screen, right? I hit record. I get ready. I share my screen. Again, review, review, review. Hey, Kinder Rockets, I'm going to do this. I'm going to click on this. Remember, you don't need to do this, right? And then explain, 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 teach, 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 do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. All right, great job, Kinder Rockets. Thanks for watching. Always do your best. All right, come back up here to Screencastify. Stop it. Again, I'm doing the whole thing again for you, right? One more time. You can see how, like, putting it all together, when you do this more often, you get faster at it. You practice it, you're faster, right? It's saving to my drive. Remember, I found for me, it was quicker to download my video than upload it. You do it what you want. And so literally I downloaded it, right? Again, I went here, lots of steps here. That's why I'm reviewing it. I need to attach that as my instructions. So I went to assign activity, because I have to get back to where? My activity library. And I have to remember, edit my activity. So here was my activity, right? I can click on the 3 buttons. I click on edit. Again, I'm going fast. Why? Because this is a review. I went to multimedia instructions or examples. I uploaded it. I dragged it from here. I waited. Again, if you have a different way to upload it, you go ahead and upload it. Again, mine's a little slower, but you can see hopefully, again, much quicker. I uploaded my instructions. I can add my voice instructions here. Talk, 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 right? I can save it here, right? Here's my new activity with my video that's now embedded, right? My instruction for my students.
I'm going to do this.
Okay. I can click on these 3 dots. I can share it with Rosario again. Right? Share it with an email to a specific teacher. Who's going to get it now? I'm going to give it to Miss Alvarez. You're the winner. Woo! Right? It sends Miss Alvarez an email. And that's basically, more or less, in a nutshell, kind of what we did today. Hopefully, seeing that whole review helps you. All right. Now, again, I promise 2 things. If you're done, you're done. I want to at least give a few things and slides for those of you that want it. But I think what I might do is I might end this and I'll put like a link and you can actually join with me on Google Hangout. And maybe we can just talk a little bit too. And then maybe the next webinar is just, again, still working on those Google Slides and Seesaw. All right, here's a few specific questions. So if you're done with the activities, you can sign off. I'll put a link for you guys to join me in a Google Meet. I can have about a half hour maybe in there at the most, just because I got a lunch and I have connect with my students. A few of the questions I got towards the end, okay? I'm going to answer these. So if you're done for today, thanks for watching. Cheers. Throw out any last shout out you want to give at the end. I really appreciate the positive feedback as well. You know, I also appreciate constructive criticism. So if there's anything I could do better, please let me know. All right. So one of my questions was, how do I invite a co-teacher to my class? All right. There are two ways to do this. If they are having trouble on their end, uh, maybe you're going to have to make a phone call, connect with them on Google Meet. So inviting a co-teacher, I'm going to click on my face and I need to check. Sometimes I don't always click in the right place at the first time because I get confused sometimes. Do I click here on this wrench or do I click on or the cog or do I click on the wrench? Okay. I think it's under click on the wrench, but I'm going to double check here. Click on the wrench, account settings. So I clicked on, just let me check first, right? I'm pretty sure it's in here. I could be wrong. Yep, I was wrong. Good thing you didn't listen to me, right? It's on here on the wrench. And part of the reason I wanted to show you that is because I don't always remember where things are. I have to click. I either remember it's either in the wrench or it's in the cog. I forget that too, right? Here is, I think, where it is. All right, so I clicked on actually here again, the little wrench versus the cog, right? Manage teachers. So you can see here, here is a way to add a co-teacher. I have added Miss Susmar, who is a speech teacher, and of course, George, who's my good buddy and friend and compadre, and I've added them to my class. All right. If you want to invite a teacher, you can do it here and you just type in their email address. Now, you shouldn't need to invite some of your admin because they should already have access to your classroom through their admin accounts, right? My admin can come and see check in my Seesaw classroom. That shouldn't be a bad thing. My students love it when they see, oh, Mr. Gutierrez was looking at my stuff. They like that. They can interact with your students. That's awesome, right? Share those good wins. I just type in the email address. Now, for some reason, if that is not working, okay, if that is not working, what I can do is I can go to, it says, this says, and it's a little hard for you to see. I don't think I can really make it a whole lot. Oh, there you go. Hopefully that's a little bigger. If your teacher is having trouble joining it, click here to generate a co-teacher link. I click here for the co-teacher link and I email it to them. Click here, open an email, send it to them. Now they have to make sure they are logging in through the correct account. And that could be one issue. Okay. That's how you add a co-teacher. Okay. That's one question I had in there. All right, let me see a few more questions in here. So I showed you how to do that. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoy watching the videos. How do students use a keyboard instead of drawing tools? So basically, if students are going to use the typing, okay, and I'm just going to model like here. If they want to go in this activity and do the typing, I'm going to go ahead and edit it like as a student. This over here, the T is for typing, right? Here's my kindergarten teacher. T is for typing, typing, sorry. So I'm going to click here, and then basically students can just type on this drawing, right? They could type here, they can drag it, they could click off, they can drag it around, right? And that's how they could type in here on this activity. They could also use a note. So that's how they could use the keyboard. Again, the T is for typing. All right, a few other ones here I'm seeing here. I think I got to a few of them. The co-teacher, the video. As far as my Google Meets, right now I'm using the same Meet every time with my kids. My kids do not typically stay on there, but I also, every time I'm in a Meet with my students, again, these are just some questions. I review the instructions. Again, at some point I will make maybe a few videos on this, but as you can see, between connecting with you awesome people, I want to make sure I'm doing a good job with my own classroom as well. And yeah, so ask me and I'll do my best to do that. You remember EdTech TOSAs, right? Your ETLs are another resource. I love helping you when I can. So my Google Meet, if you're a little unsure about that, yes. And so here's what I'm going to do. Hopefully that I think I've answered most of these questions in there. What I'm going to do is, again, I'm going to, instead of just having this be a stream broadcast, I'm going to put a link up. I'm going to give a few people a few minutes to join that link. And in that link, you will connect with me directly on Google Hangouts. Now, here's what I'm going to ask. For these, if you want to connect with me on using Google Slides, let's keep it to that. Right? Because there's a lot of things we could get distracted about. Hopefully I answered all the questions. The people I'm meeting with, I specifically want to meet with using Google Slides to make Seesaw background. I will talk to Josh about doing another webinar at some point. Again, I have those YouTube videos. If you want those YouTube videos, just send me a email and just put in the subject YouTube videos, please. All right. So I'm going to come here. I'm going to actually, and this is going to be a little bit meta. I'm going to go here and I'm going to go to meet.google.com. You may, in a second, you may have to end. And so we have our Kinder collaboration at 1:30. All right, by the way, and enter the code in the Meet for a nickname. I'm just going to enter it like this. So here's what you are going to do. I am going to make a little tiny URL for you here in a second, and I'm going to join you in this Meet to make it a little bit easier for you to find this. Okay, so what I'm going to do, and I'll give you a minute to access this, and again, I'll be with you for only about a half hour. Please only join in with me. It'll be a live interactive feature if you want to talk about slides and using them for activities. Okay, so here I'm going to go to Meet Ben. Okay, Meet Ben, and I'll put in the date. Meet Ben 3/12. Meet Ben. Oops, 3/12. 3/12. I'll put this bigger for you all, but don't worry. Hopefully this is going to work. Copy to clipboard. For now, I'm just going to put it in here. Right. If you want to meet with me for a little bit, I'm going to leave this up here for a minute. Again, if you want to meet with me, you can type that in. I will be in that chat room here in a second. Again, I'm going to end this. I'm going to end this live stream. I'm going to leave it here. Hopefully, I answered all your questions. Thanks for joining me. Keep up the learning. Keep up the awesome. Keep up the good work. Again, if you want to spend a little bit of time with me working in Google Slides, that's great. If you type that in, you will be with me in a Google Meet. Okay, remember, if you're joining me, I'll just say it again. Let's stay focused on Google Slides. We're going to be there for about a half an hour. And then again, maybe another webinar, and just keep working on our Google Slides backgrounds. Because if you're good with Google Slides, you're good with your backgrounds. If you're not good with Google Slides, it's going to be a lot. So again, if you need this, take a picture, because the live stream is going to end here in a minute. Take a picture, pause the screen. There it is, tinyurl.com/meetben312. Okay, let me just double check that works here. Okay, always double checking. I left the meeting. I'm getting ready. I'm going to join the meeting. Once I join the meeting here, I'm going to end. I see Billy's in there. I'll be right in there, Billy. I'll join in a second. I am going to end this. All right, I'm going to stop presenting. I'm going to stop recording. This video will be available later on our EdTech site. Thank you for joining me, and have a great day.